Hey, everybody, I'm Tommy, and you are on the lifeboat. Run the world. Good to have you here. You know what, people? It's cooking. This thing's, boy, though, the longer it goes, the worse it smells, if you ask me. It's just, it's not a good look at the moment. But let me tell you what's going on, because there is a lot going on. Number one, you're in an airport waiting to board. This is perfect. See that, Run the World? How about the hookup while you're waiting to get on an airplane? Get a little news while you're waiting to get on the airplane. So here's all the news that's fit to print. We got another letter. Won't bury the lead, right? Another letter was sent this morning. This one was received by K-Gun. That's the ABC affiliate in Tucson, Arizona. So they got a letter. They're not, of course, telling us everything that's in the letter. However, there are some stuff that's come out. One is that it is $6 million, Johnny Scoville. $6 million. That's a crap load of money, man. That's an absolute crap load of money. And they want $6 million in Bitcoin. The FBI is most assuredly taking these things as serious. That has come out. Zero Fox, what's happening? Good to see you. The Johnny Scoville, what's happening? This absolutely is being taken as 100% serious. I don't know what's going on within the feds, and I don't know what's going on with this case. We don't know if there's ever been proof of life. A lot of people, I mean, everybody in the true crime universe thinks that was a call to bring someone home and bury them. I mean, that's sad but true. That's what everyone. MJ, what's happening? Cowgirl in the sand. This is, I think, one of those situations that, I mean, granted, we don't know squat. And I was doing more research because I bring up the Koberger thing all the time. This is standard operating procedure once the feds come in. They're not going to tell you a lot of what's going on. One of the reasons that I think we struggle with this in a pretty big way is because Barney Fife really hasn't given us a whole lot of anything to feel good about. You know what I mean? But this is actually so the message is the first time that the Guthrie family went live was on February the 4th. If you remember, this was the fighter pilot. This was Savannah Guthrie, and this was the woman that the whole world is now looking at really toughly, her sister Annie, and vicariously, I guess, or through her, obviously her husband too, the bearded wonder. All three Guthries were there. They were urging the abductors to try to make contact, right? They directly addressed their mother. Like, if you're listening, February 5th. What's that? Oh, about 20 seconds long, right? Only Cameron spoke on the 5th. If you remember, this is when the fighter pilot came out. A lot of people crap on this dude. The guy's a fighter pilot. I don't think you can read a lot into the fact that this guy's not over the top with emotions, right? He hit lieutenant colonel. This guy's, he was no joke. He was in war. And I think that this just is kind of the guy. That goes. So they continued asking the abductors to make contact, right? What they're looking for is proof of life. We talk about this a lot because of this case, but there's a business transaction between the kidnapper and the person that pays them. As sleazy and as disgusting as that is for most people to hear, it's also a stone cold fact, right? This is just one of those things. And if you don't show proof of life, it's hard to get money, especially $6 million in what most of the world considers to be an untraceable way to send money. Now, here's the other thing that we found out before we get on to February 7th. This stuff is coming more than likely. The emails are being sent from outside the country or a device that is doing a real good job at making it look like they're outside the country. And they're not giving us all of that, but that was leaked. That was leaked, Johnny Scoville. On February the 7th, this was the short, and the only person that spoke was Savannah. All three of them are there again, right? All the Guthrie siblings are back. However, the only person that spoke was Savannah. It was short as hell. Show me that pad. It was not a very long comment. And this is the one that we did a bunch yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this up real quickly for you. For those that did not hear this, because it's kind of relevant, and there'll be a test later. Savannah Guthrie said, "We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we may celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay." A lot of people in the true crime universe make that out to be a call for a burial. There are some references in there that would lead you to that. They talk about celebrating. They talk about they want to celebrate her with her. This is something that comes up a lot in burials, right? Celebrations of life. One of my astute audience members pointed out the fact that these people were all wearing black when they filmed that one. And I didn't notice that at first, but I think they all had on shirts with black pants. There was definitely there was something going on with the whole thing that looked very much like the world thought this was over, right? Now, her birthday's coming up. Did you know that, Johnny Scoville?
I did not.
She's going to turn 85 on Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day. On that particular message, as I just read to you, they agree to the ransom, right? They go, look, we'll pay you. This is one of those things that that is valuable to us. I know that the verbiage and all of the way that the sort of the phraseology in this, when they were doing it, sounds really bizarre. Yeah, it sounds a little bit bizarre, and I get that. However, what you got to realize is that they're probably being asked to put stuff into this. What I mean by that is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They want the kidnappers to know that they are that they're communicating directly with them. So very often the kidnappers. By the way, there was another arrest. Did I tell you that? Anything. There has been another arrest by a phony, and they haven't released the name of this individual yet. But they apparently were in Tucson, right? And they pulled the okey doke and tried to get somebody to send some money. They're not releasing that one. It's going to be another federal offense. It'll be another guy facing a decent amount of time. And you talk about sleazeballs. Ash Bash, good to see you. Caroline, what's happening? If these guys were smart, they would have asked for something simple, 200K. Well, I'll tell you something else. If this is real, people, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people in the chat have been saying it's not real. I have been saying, but the only thing that makes me think it is apparently they said some stuff in the letters and it hasn't been released, but we know at least one of the things that they cited had something to do with the Apple Watch not being in a normal place. Like when they kidnapped her, they put the watch someplace weird. They also made a reference to the outdoor cameras being smashed, and they were. We saw crap loads of images of those hanging on the side of the house, right? And they look, I don't know, man. To me, they look like somebody smashed them with a baseball bat. I'm sorry? They could have put the watch in the microwave. They could have put it in the refrigerator. But they did something with it that was very distinctive. And that has been leading me to believe that maybe this kidnapping is genuine. The FBI absolutely believes that the ransom notes are being written by somebody that knows the crime. They're not saying that it's legit. 100 people in chat, do me a favor. If you just got here, there's a bunch of cool stuff coming up. Smack that like button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Here's what's going on. Go ahead. You could fondle the like button, whatever makes you happy. So $6 million has been verified, right? That's what they're asking for, $6 million. A lot of theories popped off yesterday that they're trying to buy back the dead body. I don't think they're trying to buy back a dead body for $6 million. I would be really shocked if that were the case. So I think that as much as it looked like they were trying to bring her home, it certainly doesn't seem like it's going that way. But the longer that this puppy goes on, it's starting to smell bad. I'm sorry, to me, it's starting to really smell bad. The fact that another letter hit today, and the letter really didn't say squat. They sent it to K-Gun, and allegedly, all they're saying is, hey, $6 million, right? And we had been told originally that they got a ransom note, and it had 2 dates in it. And that's not exactly what happened. Allegedly, what happened is they got a ransom note, and it had a deadline on it, right, of Thursday. That note apparently came. There were 2 different notes. The Harvey Lemon note came, he said 12 hours after it. I think they're saying it's a little longer than that. But all of the timing of this. So look, from a criminal standpoint, we talk about what it's like if you're trying to do this for a living, right? If you are honestly trying to make money on this, then you snatch the person. If you're going to try to communicate with the people that you're trying to get paid with, and you're going to wait 30 hours, right, in order to make that first contact, that's not a good thing. And I believe it was at hour 30. That's not what they're releasing. But they're not claiming that it happened at hour 30, but everything happened at hour 30. They shut down the investigation, right? They were no longer doing anything out at the crime scene. They turned that back over to mom. I find that odd. I mean, to the family rather. Mom's house gets turned back over for the first time, first of 3. But on top of that, because that is odd, you got to admit that seems very early on in the investigation to have gotten all of the forensics. Boy, that cat is going off. Keep her away from the catnip, man, especially when we're live. Leo are back out at the house. Oh, I got absolutely no doubt, people. This is, so look, if they believe the note, do I believe she's alive, cowgirl? I honestly, man, at this point, folks, as much as this is a bummer because it's really great to weigh in on this stuff, but I'm going to need just as much help on this as anybody else. The way that the cops went in, haven't been any arrest warrants. There are people freaking out because they weren't there last night to let them in. A lot of times, once that warrant is signed, they will call and say, "Get out of Dodge." We know that the daughter was spotted yesterday because she was on the video, right? So if you're just tuning in, K-Gun, right? That's the affiliate in Tucson, Arizona. Got another letter. The letter mentions the $6 million in Bitcoin again. They're not leaking a whole lot more than that. They do say that the FBI is fairly convinced it came from the same person. They got this early this morning. Does this starting to seem scheduled to you guys? I mean, honestly, if you're just trying to get paid, what's this other letter for? I mean, we don't know the rest of what's in it, but if it's just asking for the $6 million again, it's starting to sound redundant. And by the way, they do say some bad stuff's going to happen to this woman if they don't get paid, Johnny Scoville. They haven't specified exactly what the language is, but this the newest release. Do I still think she's still alive? Is so hard, man. It really is. What do you think? Yeah, Johnny doesn't think she's still alive, and it's starting to just seem engineered. And I'm not saying the false Freddy here thing. We're 10 minutes in. I'm not saying it's false flag, but holy hell, we're getting this. Why did it take 3 days for the first thing to pop up, and now we're getting these incremental little beats, one right after the other? It's my views on last night's live were amazing. Renee B, what a kind thing to say. Here's the deal on this, people. This is just really difficult the longer that it drags out. I didn't expect that this would be over before Monday. I really didn't. I didn't, however, think they were going to drop another letter. It's starting to just stink. For someone that doesn't want to communicate and doesn't give any interaction, they're just firing stuff off at the press. Does this make any sense to anybody? Chicken Cherry Cola, good to see you. This is just a bad idea, right? I'm just coming at this from a criminal standpoint, right? From a criminal standpoint, from being a guy that broke the law occasionally. This is the dumbest shit crime on planet Earth. Every single time they send one of these, there's more risk, right? The FBI is getting better and better, and they keep firing off. Theoretically, they could be coming from different places, but I'm telling you, they're stone cold beasts. You know, the people at the feds are vicious with computers. They can do things with computers that if you knew, you would stop watching dirty stuff in the middle of the night, I promise you. I think the son-in-law took her out for an inheritance money. Hey, I'll tell you what, there would be inheritance money. By all accounts, she was not a poor woman. She was allegedly left a pretty good inheritance when her husband died. And she's lived there like 30 years at that house or something. It's been there a long time. I don't know any legitimate con that would make a living this way, says Zero Fox Given. No shit, right? I mean, I'm not trying to... What criminal does this? First of all, you're not going to get any money. Second of all, the entire world is hunting you, right? The number of tips that have come into the FBI line every single day is up by ridiculous amounts. They'll be like, it was up 300% of what it normally is. It's up 400% from that. Like it just continues to snowball because everybody in the world is watching this case. Like if you're a criminal, this is literally the dumbest execution of a crime in the history of humanity. You want to pop that ransom note before the cops show up.
It's almost like they progress from shoplifting to let's go do a kidnapping.
Johnny Scoville says that they progress from shoplifting directly to let's do a kidnapping. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of forethought in this. $6 million in Bitcoin is a shitload of coins, right? Think about this for a second. Bitcoin's going at $70,000 a coin. I was told there'd be no math, right? But that's a crap load of Bitcoin. For real. I'll tell you what, it would certainly drive Bitcoin up. Maybe this is just a hustle to try to drive up Bitcoin so somebody can dump. I'm not even being funny. Boy, there's easier ways to manipulate the market. Extorting for more money. Well, $6 million apparently is what the original asking price was that we know of. However, if there were two ransom notes that both had, there wasn't two timelines. The first one had a timeline of this. The second one had a timeline of that. And I think that that's kind of, if you watch the progression of the interviews that they do, we heard you, we understand you, but they're talking to mom, calling for mom back in proof. And that last one didn't sound the same way at all. It was very, very different. There was nothing about it that smacked of the first two in any way. Yeah, give the NSA something to see. Look, Mop Man, I want to tell you something. People argue with me on this. I think the family jealousy had a critical point just before Savannah's trip to Italy. I don't think it's a coincidence that the kidnapping was planned just before she was supposed to leave. You know what? It's an interesting take. I'll tell you what, it's unusual timing. I don't know that it proves anything, but it's definitely the worst time in the entire world for Miss Guthrie to have to put up with this. I mean, honestly, there's not a good time for your mom to get kidnapped. Keep that real. Right? There's not a good time for your octogenarian mother to get hauled out of her bed, probably trussed up and hauled off somewhere, if that's how it went down. But I'll tell you what, so here's some stuff we got to go over. A lot of you who are very into true crime said she probably died at the daughter's house, right? And that's why they were over there last night doing the search warrants. Because they went in there last night and went gangbusters, right? And they were in there late into the evening. I promise you they knew they were coming. Right, there was no forced entry, which means somebody gave them a key to get in there. Like they had something set up. They had so many hours to dispose of the body from 2 a.m. until 11 a.m. That's why they didn't need other people. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lucky. Hey, I dig the idea. Yeah, I mean, we know that the pacemaker disconnected from the base, right? And when it disconnected from the base, she was still breathing. So I guess they could have taken her out of the house because we saw that allegedly get sued. They say there was a spike on the pacemaker, Johnny Scoville, because if your heart starts racing to hell or whatever, it's going to link up to the device that hooks up to your pacemaker, right? But once you get far enough away from that, right, it would have to link back up. It's just like your the things you listen to. I'll never get that. Yeah. There you go. AirPods, the pods. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess they had to get her out of the house alive. I mean, they didn't have to. They could have whacked her there. But if they whacked her there, we would have known something about it the heart would have stopped. Even if the heart stops, the pacemaker keeps doing its thing. It's just a freaking radio control device. It's going to keep trying to shock that person back into rhythm. No lie, right? I researched this. It'll just keep zapping the dead person until the thing basically runs dry or somebody removes it. If they kidnapped my mother, she would be returned in an hour. Heidi, you know what? If they kidnapped my mom, she'd kill them. For real. And they would be repenting by the time they were done getting their ass kicked. Seriously, my mom would give them the gilts. It would last for a very long time. But I'll tell you what's heartbreaking about this. Imagine if you're the family. Why so much time at Sisters? Literally no media addressing the MSM seems. Yeah, it does seem a little off. But here's the deal: the reason they were at the Sisters' house so long last night is because they executed. Right? If you got a pencil, take some notes. But this is a very important thing. When you're getting ready to go search someone's house, and make no mistake, they didn't say, come ahead and search my house. There was a search warrant. And I know people had talked about that or whatever. I don't think they would do that if you let them. Honest to God. I think if you said, nah, come over and search it, they'd be like, no, we'll go get a search warrant. Right? Because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. If you look at this from a legal standpoint, you're going to have to put a case together on this. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be, but we're all aware of the fact that this isn't your average kidnapping anymore, right? This is a circus. And stuff that probably would take a little bit more time, sure as shit ain't going to take more time on this. So they probably got a couple of judges that are like sitting on the edge of their seat, waiting for a phone call to come in so that they can get a warrant. And some of these warrants are so vicious that when you show up and they go, "Can I see your search warrant?" They go, "Yeah." And they pull it up on their phone and show it to you, right? They're not playing any games with, well, we got to go down and get it, pick it up at the court. They will call in. You can do a phone search warrant and they're coming in. So to get that warrant, you can't go over there and go, we're starting to go on a fishing expedition. We have nowhere to go. And I'm telling you, you hear FBI agents, you hear lawyers saying they're lost. If they knew where they were going, they had to go in front of a judge and say, I want to take their car and I want to go in their house. And the Fourth Amendment makes it pretty damn clear that you can't just say, well, because I think there's shit in there, right? That's not how a search warrant works. You have to say, there is reason to believe this, Your Honor. And what is this? Well, there's reason to believe there might be blood inside that house. You don't just say, I'm going in and looking around. There could be some shit. They're either looking for the ability to get onto certain devices for the Bitcoin thing. They may be searching computers to see if this guy ever did a Google search on what's the best way to kidnap somebody. I'm not trying to be funny, but for real, they're going to be crawling through every single thing they got in there. The FBI doesn't want to screw this up in court. You're damn right, man. Look. %8 conviction rate. Wrap your dome around that, right? People used to say 99.9 or whatever. It's 98%. So 2% of people that go to the feds beat that shit, right? That does not happen very often. And it's because normally they don't screw up. 85. As it turns out, Johnny Scoville, oops, wrong one. But you're right, the FBI doesn't want to. 85, why will that not go up there, dude? What have you done? 85 Bitcoin is the equivalent to $6 million. 85. Giggity. I'd like to have 85 coins, bro. You're shitting in tall cotton. I'm not going to lie to you. 85 Bitcoin. Somebody give me 2. I'll give you my wallet. I have no intention of kidnapping anybody. Outside my scope, man, honest to God, from a criminal standpoint, I can think of 3 or 4 crimes that are dumber than this, right? But there aren't too many of them. Like threatening federal officials is really stupid. Yeah, you don't want to hijack shit. That's super dumb. And anything that goes boom, can't say the T word. If you say terrorism, they're definitely burying your video. Yeah, trying to maybe knock over Fort Knox would be a pretty bad idea, but this is piss poor. And the way that this is executed from a criminal standpoint, a retired criminal standpoint, I'm offended. I'm not even kidding you. And they took so much time, allegedly. I'm not sure I believe any of this shit anymore, Johnny Scoville. It doesn't make any sense. You do a lot of research to figure out all of the ways that you're going to try to skirt around this thing, right? And allegedly, the correspondence aren't originating in the United States.
From unmarked bills in a bag to Bitcoin, the most traceable thing on the
Right?
planet.
We do need to get you mic'd up. I'm sorry, folks. My alter ego isn't on a microphone today. But he said, we went from unmarked bills. I want non-sequential unmarked bills. I want them in a bag. You're going to drop them off at this park at such and such a time to, hey, I would like you to follow one of the most traceable form of currencies you possibly can to a wallet that doesn't actually exist with coins that aren't made of any substance. You got to be woofing me, man. What a time to be alive.
You can't track Bitcoin, but you can.
Oh, but you can. No disrespect, but you know who Sam Bankman-Fried is? He's the guy that run that FD whatever exchange. He bought and sold more crypto than most people on planet Earth. And he moved all of his stuff around in cryptocurrency because there was no way he was going to get caught, right? It was all untraceable. And this was a crypto king. And you know what they did? They crawled right up his tailpipe and they figured out where all of that cash went and they shut that shit down. And you know the only money they didn't get from him, Johnny Scoville, were in non-sequential bills that he had pulled out of Bitcoin.
Also, they never got the change out of the ashtray of his car.
Right. They didn't get the change out of the ashtray of his car either. But most of anything that he had on the blockchain, people, I'll explain this again because I promise you it's the truth. When the blockchain starts moving shit around, you can see everything. It's the exact opposite of what people think it is. You can see everything. And people will go, yeah, but it's going to a fucking wallet that doesn't have any number on it, right? This is just no name. It's just an anonymous number. And the coins themselves are anonymous numbers.
James says, I'm out. Can't get away with random, impossible, which tells you it's a false flag to distract Epstein files. Epstein files aren't going anywhere.
The Epstein files? Do you know how many people are doing the Epstein files?
You can agree with me. Tell me your brother thinks that's absurd.
No, I don't agree with it. I'll be really honest with you. I don't agree with that at all. If you believe that this is a false flag to cover Epstein, you're in too deep, bro. You're in way too deep. They released the files, right? It's not like they're going away. You know what's going to happen when this thing blows over? I'm going to go back to doing Epstein, right? It ain't going away. I got a picture collection from the Epstein's latest dump that's going to curl your friggin' hair.
There's a timeline where they say we're stopping Epstein. That would be the case.
Yeah, there's no timeline on any of these things. I mean, you know, and it's Super Bowl Sunday. This is going to hurt the NFL, though. It honestly is going to hurt the NFL. I forgot it's Super Bowl Sunday.
I think all this goes down to the halftime show.
The British government, hey, I'll be honest with you. Listen, straight up, the United States government says the same thing. But when the time comes for the United States government to track the shit, they always catch them. Always. Dred Scott Pirate, like they track that shit, man. It's a great concept. But here's what would have to happen, and very quickly. And hey, I love that you're on the other side of the pond. Here's what would have to happen really quickly. From the time that shit hits that wallet that nobody knows about, you got to get it out of there quicker than you could say hello. But you're talking about moving a crap load of Bitcoin. 85, according to our friend that does math. 85 Bitcoins. People, I'm telling you, I know that it's the whole cryptocurrency thing is confusing. But in a way, it's like buying stock or anything else, right? It's like buying a commodity because there's a limited number of them. But that limited number of them is running out, right? They still mine Bitcoin, which means that if you put out, let's say she wants to buy 60 million in Bitcoin and there's nobody out there that wants to sell their Bitcoin, right? That digital currency that you can't see. If nobody wants to come off of theirs, then they mine it, right? And those miners, that's which makes it's such a confusing thing to say. I feel stupid saying it.
It's a false flag. Sorry, you're wrong. Look at the algorithm. No Epstein, all Nancy. It's a false flag leading you around like sheep.
Would this be this guy?
Yeah.
All false, leading you around like sheep. With all due respect, bro, you're a moron. All right? I don't want to do this, and I'm not trying to bust on anybody. This is a dumbass theory. We're going to go and kidnap somebody, right? Probably kill them for the purpose of putting a false flag up. We're going to get everybody in the world talking about this murder. You know what?
It's still going to remain after this.
And look, as much as we think there's not a human being on planet Earth watching this, there are a shit pile of people that don't even come on YouTube or platforms like this. They're watching the news. It pops up every 15 minutes. They go, oh, man, they say a prayer for her. There is very few people. They put Nancy under the Epstein files. You will never find her. Yeah, you know what?
His ears with the cotton swab, he's pushing them way too far.
James, if you're digging in that ear with the cotton swab, bro, they say don't go all the way in. There's a reason they say that. That's no joke. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Adios, dude. And listen, wherever you're getting your green bud, you know what I'm saying? Holy hell. Why would they raid the sister's house if the letter is legit? Because they think the brother wrote it. If the letter's legit, they think that the brother-in-law did it. And we heard this, 4 days ago? Was it 4 days ago? It's 4 days ago. Now, when Ashley Banfield dropped the story on this. I always watch content, not like inky event about. This is one of those things. You heard Nancy had some electrical work done in January. I don't doubt it. It's Tucson. She also probably had people come over and clean her pool, right? She's not cleaning her own pool. She has a very nice yard that's like right up by the casita. There's like a little yard area that's set up there. She ain't mowing that either. There's a lot of people that would go to a house that size just to take care of landscaping. Yeah, I mean, that's a part of town where there's probably 4 people that show up at that house to take care of things around that place on the regular. I don't think the 84-year-old mom's doing it. Or maybe it's Tommaso. Tommaso looks like he could jack up a lawnmower. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Doesn't he not look like a guy that could push a lawnmower? Huh? And an explosive belt. I'm sorry, man. He's an Italian guy. He's got a wicked dark beard. That is the son-in-law. Now, look, you can't base whether or not somebody did a crime by what they look like. It's the entire contingent of Harley-Davidson riding people in all of South America just went by. Yeah, no, yeah, Bayou Babe, absolutely that happens. The number of people that show up at those houses, but if you're just a random stranger, you're going to target the 84-year-old. I mean, they've got grandkids. Snatch one of them. I'm just saying, from a criminal standpoint, this is a nightmare. You just took what should have been a really easy job and made it about 10 times more difficult. You're now going to take someone that you don't have to babysit, right? You have to be a healthcare provider. There's a really big difference. You have to take care of this person or they're going to die.
Very special needs.
Gino. Honestly, in my country, I also get a little freaked out by men who look like this. No offense. None taken. If you're shaving that little neck beard area right here and just letting it, I guarantee you he could grow that from his belly button up.
If you listen carefully, you can hear it growing.
Johnny Scoville said if you're next to him and you listen really carefully, you can hear it growing. Interesting that something seems to break almost at the exact time every day. I said that, I think, before you got here. If you just got here, do me a favor, smack that like button, right? We got a bunch of new people in here, and I'll recap where we're at. But smack that like button and hit the bell for notification. That way, when I go live, you'll know that I go live because I go live at Crapload. Is it true he hasn't been to the school he teaches at in a hot minute? No, that has not been chased down. The school has purged his happy ass from their site, though. I have not found, and somebody else sent me a comment on that. I have not been able to get that verified with every place that I've looked. Too far with the cotton swab. Sadly, you are correct. Yeah, sadly, I am correct. That's one of those things that you hate to see. Yeah, you need some attention. Everybody gets up every once in a while and goes, today's my day. I'm going to get some attention. It's a bad situation, but I love the snarky commentary. It's a terrible situation. You know why you get snarky commentary? And I know that I piss a lot of people off. I'm praying for this woman nonstop. But this is a depressing ass subject. And there are people that would like to get together and talk about it who maybe don't want to, by the end of it, think that they're ready to take themselves out or any of that stuff. Are the siblings holding up in Tucson or somewhere else? Well, that's really a great question, isn't it? Here's what I will promise you. They ain't missing. Right? There is no chance any of them are going anywhere where they don't know where they are. I assure you. The daughter said she will pray, so Monday deadline will be very interesting. And it's coming quick, isn't it? That deadline is coming quick. And then according to everything I can verify, it didn't say they were going to whack her if they didn't pay by then, but they said bad crap was going to happen to her. And I think here's the thing. If you're trying to torture somebody, that's a hell of a lot worse than saying you'll kill them, right? You're going to put that into the head that, not sure how they're taking mom out, but it doesn't sound.
The new time pills. Think of the pill she's on. There's a lot of ways to torture them.
Yeah. Just being without the medication would be torture, right? Especially if they're saying that she absolutely has to get pain medication to get through the day. By the way, this is an anti-drug channel. That's how the channel started. I'm a recovering heroin addict. But that being, what's that? It's more of an anti-addiction channel. But I'm a recovering heroin addict, and we did a whole lot working with people that are getting sober. And what I can tell you is that if you got to go without pain medication, you're addicted to pain medication. Does not mean you're a drug addict. You're dependent on it, right? You may not be addicted to it. There are people that take it exactly how it is on the label. They're still going to get dope sick if they stop taking it. But it doesn't mean that they're addicted. If they get dope sick, they'll go, God, never doing that again. Whereas the junkie will go, call Ted. Tell him I got $100. Yeah, she's going through withdrawal by you, babe. I mean, that's my gut, right? There are two really good rumors on this. And there's a little bit of just some deductive reasoning. Like the daughter said that she's in excruciating pain and that she has to have pain meds, right?
We'll have kicked dope a lot of times. I can't imagine 85 doing it.
Oh my God, right? Johnny Scoville says after he's kicked dope plenty of times, trying to kick dope at 84 would be. I can't imagine doing it at 55, bro.
Me either.
Do I think she can be in Mexico? Highly unlikely, right? From a criminal standpoint. You can drive through the border of Mexico and you can probably do it 10 times and never have anybody wave you over and tell you they want to look at your car. If you're doing it in Tijuana, you could do it every day for the rest of your life. Drive into Mexico and not have somebody wave you over to look through your car. But if you're going through Douglas or if you're going through the smaller ones that got shitloads of time on their hands and they're seeing a much smaller number of cars come in, they walk up down the aisles and shit. And they'll go, yep, let's get a look at your car. That's a big-ass risk trying to take an 85-year-old woman across the border because you got to have her tied up, right? You couldn't just drive through. You might have to stash her in a trunk, and then you worry that she doesn't do some kicking or making some noise. I guess you could drug her and knock her out. I'm not trying to be a bum anybody out if you're new to the channel. But we do tend to look at this sometimes from the criminal side of it. Spent a lot of years as a criminal. Haven't been one in a while, but I always look at it from the what the hell are they thinking for part of this. You remind me of Fugitive TV. He has been to prison for stealing a car. He did his time, came out. He was a fugitive for 15 years, lived in different countries. No way. Man, you imagine going 15-year fugitive for car theft? Must not have been in America.
In the 90s, I was wanted for 9 of them in multiple states.
Yeah, Johnny Scoville said for the 90s he was wanted in 9 states.
9 years of the
9 years of the 90s he had a warrant out in multiple states. I don't remember. Honest to God, like I got out of prison the last time and I walk straight, right? I don't fart around. I got sober. I'm serious as shit. And I got off probation in half of the time that you're supposed to in the feds. I mean, I passed every drug test I ever had to take. It's been a good run, but nevertheless, right? You can't imagine. Well, it's hell, Johnny Scoville. It's not a good time.
It's not fun.
It's not fun, people. If you can avoid prison, you ought to. But I was always wanted. And when I got out that last time, that was a wrap. I remember saying to my brother, I just went and got a driver's license. You realize if you're wanted, you can't get a driver's license. Like that's a wrap. You cannot go into a DMV and go, this is who I am. They put you in the computer and go, excellent. We're going to take your picture. Could you sit over there for about 6 minutes? And then a guy comes with a badge and hauls your ass off. Yeah, there's blood. And we're not getting a lot of info. They took more blood from inside mom's house. That has been leaked. So she was not only leaking on the porch, right?
Kerry asked, you get addicted in a week with opiates. With me, day 4, I was in trouble.
Yeah, you know what? With opiates, some people get addicted in a week. There are people that can go 2 weeks if it's the first time they've ever done them. It's sort of hit or miss depending on the person. It takes me about an hour and 45 minutes. all I got to do is look at it. I got to look at it. And the next thing you know, everything in my house will have a little for sale sign on it.
4 days.
Oh, he was stealing cars for dealership. Yeah, that is cool. No, I had friends that went to prison for car theft for a long time, but it's usually about the 7th in the United States. They let you ride that one pretty good. The cops catching a lot of shit for going to a basketball game. Did you hear that? Maybe not the best timing, but here's the thing: if you're the sheriff, right? You got all of these people underneath you. Chances are you're not going to be out at the raid watching them. And I would be willing to bet that they've got the state boys there. You know, people always ask this question. I should have covered this years ago. But people always ask this question. If the feds are so damn good at it, when they come in, why doesn't the other cops just go, take it easy, we're going to go back to desk duty or whatever? And the reason is the jurisdiction thing is a big issue when it comes to, you're going to get a lot more love from the local guys in terms of jurisdiction and everything else. That's why you keep the local guys in. They know the court systems. They know each judges. They know the easiest way for you to sort of navigate that is to go through the locals, right? And it's going to make the prosecution tighter. There's never jurisdiction issues. But what they don't have is manpower, right? Well, we got 6 guys on the shift on Friday night, and all of a sudden you need 280 guys on the shift. The FBI comes in with a crap load of federal money, and that's usually how it works. I do not believe that the bearded wonder, he would have to still have a passport, right? He would have dual citizenship. Yeah, it's going to be a real bitch getting through an airport, but he won't get within 4 miles of an airport. If that dude starts driving towards Sky Harbor or one of the other airports in Arizona, they will be on him so fast it will terrify you. Orly's my friend from New York. Good to see you, Orly. What's happening? As an attorney, I would love to co-counsel with you. Any thoughts of law school in your future? Yeah, that would be lovely. I don't think there's a chance of that happening. I wish I had taken a different path in life. You know what I mean? But that heroin was a hell of a drug.
You know what? I don't have any regrets.
Yeah, you know something. Honestly, I always feel weird if I say this live, but if I had to go back and do it all over somehow, I'm not sure I would change that much, knowing what I know now. That's true. If you don't do everything that you did, you don't get here. He's a brother-in-law, not a sister-in-law. Yeah, no, he's definitely a brother-in-law. You know what? Gives it away right from Jump Street. And Janet, I'm just picking on you because it's fun, but that gives it away. Can you see that?
I'm gonna grow a beard.
Well, not like that one.
No, it's pretty swarthy.
You grow a beard like that, we're done. You're out of here. I would be terrified. I'm sorry, but every once in a while you got to throw up. Does the FBI use dogs? Yeah, they have been out with dogs. They have been out with dogs. They've used cadaver dogs, and they've also used bloodhounds. But I will tell you someone else. I saw that, Janet. I'm just busting your chops. It just made for a funny picture and a reason to put up our friend. What? Neckbeard. Good Lord. I know a chick with a beard like that. I would have been great in court. Orly, thank you. That's a very kind thing to say. About a year ago, a lawyer said the same thing to me. They said, have you ever thought of taking the bar? Spent too much time in bars. I'm not sure that I could memorize like that. There was a time I could have. There absolutely was a time I think it would have been, I would have done better on the bar than most. I have a very weird ability to remember things, but it's getting tougher. See that? Couldn't even remember the word tougher. The big tomato is definitely still in Tucson. Make no mistake. And they're on him like stink on shit. That son-in-law's got no way. If your mind has at any point said, what if he slips away? There is absolutely no chance in hell. I promise you, man. When that guy goes to the bathroom, they're like, he used six sheets of toilet paper.
He shaved and dyed his hair, grew hair out and dyed it blonde. He's done.
No. Well, and I mean, I promise you at this point, when he's putting one foot in front of the other, they're filming it, they're watching it, they're vicious, man. Internet crimes against children might be involved because the perpetrator could have minors to help him commit the crime. It's a theory. I'll tell you why I don't think that's the case. They bring in that group because they're better at internet research than anybody else. I mean, they come in a lot. It's very rarely. It's sometimes a shocker when you find out it's kids, because especially if it's something like this, you see them show up. It's probably not tied in with children. It probably has more to do with the fact that they're the Babe Ruth of internet sleuthing, and they should be, because the people they're hunting down are wanting to do things to kids. So hopefully they're the Babe Ruths of it, right? Not sure if someone asked this yet. Sorry if I missed it. Why would the police return to Annie's today after being there last night? Because they are turning up the pressure. And the other thing is this. The other thing is this, right? But before I tell you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notification, and hit the thumbs up. I need it, people. All right, so no, it's perfectly logical. They go out and they collect all this shit. You probably saw last night they were walking out with a briefcase. Looked a lot like a Halliburton Zero. You know, those silver-sided numbers. Look like one of those. They're all wearing gloves. These are evidence collection people, right? They come out with bags. If they put their evidence in a bag, they take it, staple it, write shit on it. If it's digital stuff, that might go inside the bag. But they go back and they go to the crime lab, and the scientists and the guys that are really good at this shit go, hey, we need this, this, and this. And once that warrant gets served, they have the ability, if they need to go back. In most places, you can just go back, like there's a time frame or whatever. But it happens a lot. They'll serve a search warrant on Monday, and Tuesday morning they'll come back and be like, didn't go here. I'm going to check this. Yeah, it's these guys. They're the Babe Ruth, to be sure. And yeah, that's the crime they should be researching. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pissed off that all of these resources are getting diverted. She's an older woman. She's beautiful, but there are a lot of people out there that are going to be like, you know how many people are going to get kidnapped this month? right? How many people that don't have rich daughters and don't live in the Catalina foothills, and no one's going to give a shit. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. But that's America. Someone said they were using luminol last night. I'd be really surprised if they weren't. I'd be really surprised if that search warrant, and this is just me, man, I'm no lawyer, right? But you got to tell the judge the reason you're going in there. What if they said, we're going in there looking for blood, right? There's blood at the house. They took that car. Maybe they found blood in the car, right?
The second they saw blood on the doorstep, Blue Moon was done already.
Oh, at the house? No, they were doing it out at the sister's place. Yeah. Now, we assume that they were killing the lights and hitting it up with blues. It's hard to tell through that window. Honestly, I'm not smart enough. Well, it's about damn time they do something. Yeah, you know something? Look, this is pissing off a lot of people, but I got to reiterate this. When you hear like I heard an FBI agent today. I'm doing research. It's about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I'm listening to this FBI agent on a show, and they said it's amazing that they found nothing this far in. Now, I don't know if they teach them that shit or if she's just trying to make a living, but this isn't at all unusual. If the kidnappers had followed the friggin' playbook and contacted them within 45 minutes of an hour, snatching mom, like that's the idea, right? You want to contact them as fast as possible. Then you have the opportunity to say, don't contact the police. Allegedly, they put something in the letter about not contacting the authorities. Well, for the love of God, you waited 50 hours or some shit to contact me. Of course, I called the cops. The daughter, you know what? Good eye. Are you kidding me? She absolutely did. And you may not believe this. Yeah. She says, she used a quote from Silence of the Lambs to her kidnapper. She said, Savannah, very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see. They say the kidnapper also used a phrase from that. What they did was, it was the phrase, if my wife was here, she would tell you what the names of the characters were. She's really into that movie. But it was Senator Martin. Senator Martin, I believe, is talking to the camera about her daughter. The one, yeah, the daughter. Oh, wait. The one that ends up in the well inside the creepy dude's house, right? And she says the daughter's name, and it's escaping me. Reese would have it like that. But it's escaping me. Catherine. Catherine is a nice girl. Talk to her. You'll know. That's the quote they used. Now, look, that movie, not for nothing. You think they got a couple of FBI profilers that were actually working on that film? Read the credits. There are a bunch of FBI profiles. They had a bunch of consultants and people that did that for a living. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if that line from the Silence of the Lambs, and the line goes something like, the FBI agent says to Clarice Starling, "That's smart. That's smart." And she says, "Yeah, keep using her name. You're going to humanize her, right? If he sees her as a human and not an object, it would be harder to hurt her." So that very well may be from the playbook. Right, that might come right out of the FBI playbook. Sorry, hold on. Do you think whoever did this could have gotten? Let's see. Do you think whoever did this could have gotten all of what she needed to stay alive in a heartbeat if they needed it, if they wanted it? Look, man, they are, and this is sad to me, but I got to take a hit on this. I didn't think of this. Somebody in my chat did. And I used to drive into Mexico to buy drugs at pharmacies all the time, but it didn't occur to me, man. They're an hour and 20 minutes from the Mexican border. If they really were planning this thing, if this was done a month ahead of time, all you'd have to do is find out what, grandma takes. And you could have gone down, drove across the border. There might have been a couple where the pharmacy said, we don't have that, right? But I can get you this, which is the same thing because like the name brand stuff sometimes is a little tougher to get down there, but every generic on earth you can get, and a lot of the name brands.
Everything they're saying for announcements is exactly what they know.
Yeah. Make no mistake. The press conferences, all of this stuff, we're getting bullshitted, right? We're getting bullshitted. If you're into true crime, then you know that they're not going to tell you what they got, right? It would be really stupid to tell you what they got. I hadn't heard that, but I'm not sure that it would surprise me either. And you know what? This is all So mother-loving bizarre. I'm telling you, this is getting to me now, right? I'm not kidding. This is getting to me now because now this doesn't feel like it's getting too Hollywood. I mean, it's one note after another. They already said if I don't get the money, right, by Monday at 9:00, then something bad's going to happen, right? Why do you got to send another letter this morning? If you're just getting here, hit the subscribe button. They absolutely sent another letter this morning to K-Gun. That would be K-G-U-N. Tucson, Arizona. It's not a radio station. I just wanted to do that voice. It's the CBS affiliate, and they have a fairly popular news show down there. But they had already mailed to them once before. They didn't send it to anybody else allegedly. So the first one went to KOLD. The next one went to, and a lot of people are going, this proves that they're in the area. I mean, it's how hard would it be, people? I mean, I don't think that passes the smell test. I could get online and find out what the three. I mean, pick a city. And I can ask AI, hey, what are the three affiliates? Give me NBC, ABC, and CBS affiliates, and just start listing cities. And they'll tell me all of them. They'll tell me their contact information. And you could be doing this from another part of the world. I like the van in Silence of the Lambs movie. You like the villains? Yeah, no, everybody likes the villain from Silence of the Lambs. Are you kidding? It's just such a vicious movie. It shaped my wife. She watched it way too much. When she was a little kid, she used to come up and watch it every day after school. But then again, I almost wish they would release the letters to the public. Maybe having a few million people look at it might see something the cops don't. Yeah, but even if this is a hack job of a kidnapping, there's still going to be some elements. There has to be a way to prove that the police are communicating with you. So going back to the dawn of man of kidnapping, if there are police involved or there or whatever, or if you kidnap somebody, especially somebody famous, jackasses are going to come out of the woodwork and start mailing ransom letters. That's why proof of life is essential, right? That's why you have to be able to prove that you got somebody. But it also has to mean that if you're communicating through newspapers, and they used to do stupid shit like that, I'll put an ad in the classified section. You got to use this in the phrasing so I know it's you, because somebody else could have called or written or whatever. This kind of stupid shit has gone on forever where, like they say something from the Silence of the Lambs, use something from this. That way I know you're talking to me. And if you listen to the way that they speak in all of them, there's always phrases and things that don't make any sense, right? Like, who talks like this? I'm not trying to be a douche, but even if we're talking about the burial, right? Even if you're talking about bringing the body back, we received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we may celebrate with her. Some weird verbiage, man. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. Also, who talks like that? Yeah, there's nothing we wouldn't do to get her back, right? This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. It sounds like they're delivering lines that they were asked to deliver back. That way, the person that is out there is obviously watching by oh God, this is the social media kidnapping. We're supposed to believe this shit. They're communicating by going to Instagram. Right. And then this guy's writing to news agencies that then leak this much of it to the press after the FBI redacts the ever-loving shit out of it. It's bizarre to me, man. A lot of people have theorized this. It means that they understand that she's dead. But I kind of feel like, I don't know. That's
a contradiction, which says we'll celebrate with her. If they said we'll celebrate her life, that would be a little bit more.
Well, and her birthday's coming up on the 14th, right? Her birthday's coming up on the 14th. It's just mother-loving bizarre. She's about to be 85. You know why I'm struggling, people, for real? Because I'm not a cop. I've never been a cop, and I can't really look at it from the cop side. But from the criminal side, this criminal has passed into the area of you got to be kidding. Why keep opening yourself up? Each time you fire off one of these things, unless they're just stupid enough to believe that they're absolutely bulletproof. And there's a lot of stupid criminals, man. Myra, good to see you. Could the perps be lowlives that the brother-in-law owed big bucks? I mean, it could be. I think he'd be more likely to handle it himself. Because here's the thing. Let's say you owe me, $10 million, $20 million. If you come to me and go, I don't have your money, but I got a mother-in-law you could kidnap, that would be a tough sale. I think I would just hit you with a bat. Yeah, see, this is another really good point, huh? This is another really good point. Especially no journalist or TV person would talk like that, right? She's eloquent as hell, man. She really is. She's eloquent as hell. Pat says she's probably suspect that she's dead because it's been so long without her meds. We don't really know that, though. We don't really, I mean, I don't know. If you think about this even halfway, again, maybe I'm just, how do you steal an 84-year-old woman and not take medication? I can see leaving the medication behind so that you can push this better go through a lot quicker. She's going to be dead without her medicine. Like, that's cold-hearted, right? But I can see it from a criminal standpoint. However, if you're going that route, why would you wait 3 days? You wait 3 days to contact him and say, she can't go more than 24 hours without this medication. That doesn't make any sense, man. Was she drowned in the pool? I promise you that they probably, dog-faced pony soldier. No, and I'll tell you why. So they say 40 feet, 40 to 60 feet. I mean, I guess that the watch could have, when she disconnected from that watch, her ticker was still ticking. Right? So I guess they could have pulled her outside. But I think once you get her out of the house, you're trying to get out of Dodge. If I'm a criminal, I'm not taking her outside to drown her. Yeah, this is a great comment. Tell me you all didn't think this. Ashbash says, I just can't imagine what it's like for Savannah and her brother, realizing Annie and Tommaso are likely to be the perps, or even that they're suspects. But if you watch the first video, I thought that the daughter, not Savannah, but Annie, looked off. And so did everybody else that watched it. And I know we're being unfair, right? But it's not like Savannah looked polished. Right? She was in grief and she was dying, but her sister just didn't look like she was in grief and dying. I'm not saying, it was a better performance. I'm saying she didn't look right. Your mom's missing. And her blink rate, I swear to God, man, maybe that's just who she is. My wife blinks a lot, but not like this woman was. That crap looked like a cartoon. But Ash Bash, I agree with you 100%. It breaks my heart to think of what they're going through. It's like the kidnapper and the FBI are trying to 4D chess each other. It's got to be gut-wrenching, says Bayou Babe, and she's right. I mean, it's got to be gut-wrenching. And on top of it, you're eye-twitching, changing personalities. On top of all of that, you have to be an actor in this gig. Right? It's not, under the best of circumstances, a kidnapping would be the worst thing in the world. And the best of circumstances are you have proof of life. You know your kid's all right. You only pay about 20 or 30 grand and you got them back in a few hours. But being part of this where you got to go out, sit in front of a camera and talk about your kidnapped mother, it's more like war shit than it is like anything else. This just ain't right. From a criminal standpoint, it's just not right. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. And it's getting stupider by the mother-loving day. It's going to be, I agree. You start to see there's muscle memory when someone twitches. Yeah, and then the people at the behavior panel who are a lot smarter than me talk about blink rate all the time, right? And those are, I'm sorry, man, it's like the only YouTubers that nobody can hate, right? I'm sure they got trolls, but how do you hate them? They're fantastic. Wow. See that? Johnny Scoville went right to the marks. Pretty weird. Do you think Savannah ever goes back to work if her mom doesn't make it through this? Yeah, I do. I think she goes back to work. I think not going back to work would drive you insane. Interesting. I feel that she was killed in the home, maybe by accident, maybe not, but then they had to think of what they were going to do next. I guess if you know that there's really no backup cameras, that there's no backup subscription, right? Maybe you canceled it, something like that. But yeah, they break the shit in the house, right? They showed all kinds of signs of a struggle. They smashed the cameras out the outside. We don't know if they broke in or not because they lie a lot. Allegedly, it's Annie, so why keep them all together? It's hell on earth. But if that's the case, Ma, What they don't want is to tip the hands of these people. If there's a chance that grandma's alive, right? Or mom rather is alive. If there's a chance that Nancy's still alive, what you're not trying to do is telegraph to the son-in-law that you know what's going on. So you're not going to let her know shit. So how are you going to say, hey, we're shooting a video? We don't want you there, right? That might be a dead giveaway. She was blinking like she was giving a signal to somebody. Tell you what, Morse code, maybe I should go back and look at that. I think the kidnapper is panicking now that the fact that Trump is talking about this must be pressuring him. And somebody made a good point yesterday, kind of blew me away. I said I didn't think it was particularly smart for Trump to do that. We don't know that they didn't tell him to. Somebody left that comment yesterday, and we don't. I take a lot of shit like that for granted, but we don't. As much as the guy's a blithering idiot sometimes with the things that he says, they may have wanted him to say that, right? It's in line with what he does. You got the big people putting pressure, and around town it looks like there's nothing there. That'll cause a little cognitive dissonance. Holy shit, the president, the whole world's coming after us. I would imagine if I was the criminal in this one, I'd just as likely be dead at this point as mom. Can you imagine the stress of this one? Holy shit.
They aren't talking about how they're going to spend their money.
Yeah, they're not sitting around right now talking about what beach they're going to be getting drunk on. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can put a 2 in the chat if you saw that, because she's absolutely right. It was creepy how often, and she would close her eyes and they would say close for a really unnormal amount of time. And no, I didn't mean unusual. I really meant not normal. Like you would look at it and just go, ooh, I don't know, man. Yeah. Around the world, I assume you got to where you were going safe. I feel like I'm in permanent cognitive dissonance state these days. Yeah. I mean, this is hell at this point. And not just, it does have the collective imagination of a lot of people across the world. The number of comments, I love the coverage. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm watching from New South Wales, or I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm watching from somewhere in Africa. And you're just like, good Lord. Mara says, I thought she was sedated. She very well may have been sedated. There were a lot of people that were saying Xanax, right? A lot of people talking about benzos. It would be the logical choice, right? And by the way, just not trying to sound like the old drug user, but if you're trying to find a benzo on planet Earth, Tucson's a pretty good city to do it. That proximity to the Mexican border makes just hopping across and buying them yourself really easy. If the sister and husband are the kidnappers, how could they send demands without the FBI knowing? Cowgirl, they would have had to have someone else involved, or be smart enough to have all this shit on a timer. But that doesn't really, and because you can do that. You can time emails to leave at certain times and all that. But I don't know if that, I'm not a computer whiz, I promise you. It's not how I did most of my crime. But my understanding is that you're always like sort of bridging onto the World Wide Web. And I guarantee you that they gave them Tor, dark web ways of trying to move the money or whatever. And I hope that they think that that's going to get it done, but it's not going to. FBI said this is a weird case, unprecedented. I would imagine that they're saying that. And one of the reasons that they're saying that, one of the reasons that this is being said is this is the social media kidnapping. That's how they're communicating back and forth with one. It's how demands are being made, right? It's how they're going to figure out whether or not there's proof of life or any of this shit. It's all at this point social media. Have we ever had a social media kidnapping? Right? I mean, we had the Lindbergh baby, and that was the social media type kidnapping of the day. Xanax makes me close my eyes without realizing it. Yeah, they call that the nod. What about cameras at the Circle K? The FBI looking at any news on that? There is no news on that. However, I saw a really good camera angle. I've been to that Circle K a crap load of times, but I saw a point of view of where their camera is, and boy, if somebody drove by that intersection, and it's right down the street from Mom's. It also, though, it freaks me out a little bit that somebody would have had to say, hey, down at the Circle K, there's a camera that points out to the intersection. That doesn't pass the smell test. They must have been looking for something specific, because you're going to tell me the FBI didn't go to that camera like day one We want to pull footage from this time to this time, right? I mean, holy shit, wouldn't that be the first place you'd go? I'm sorry, it's right down the street. And there's going to be cameras there. If I had to guess, I'd say that there's only two ways that this could go, but this is working with limited information that we got, right? If I had to guess, I would say, what would a criminal have in his house? Stuff that would link you to the Bitcoin stuff. You Googling shit. You're actually hooked up from some device to your e-wallet or whatever. The other thing that they would be looking for would be blood, right? We know grandma was bleeding. You might be able to go to a judge and go, hey, we just want to make sure that grandma isn't bleeding inside the car as well. What if she cut herself at the house? We need to look to see if there's any blood in that car. But the car was snatched up first. They may have found blood inside that, which would have really got him into the house quickly. Did anyone hear about gambling debts? Not sure where I heard it. Yeah, everybody's saying it. I can't track it down, but allegedly there are people out there talking.
Well, I've owed some money before, but if they do that when you owe gambling debt, that's hardcore.
Yeah. It would have to be a lot of, I don't know. So if anyone knows how to fake forensic or blood residue, it would be him. Yeah, that would be a tall order. I mean, they tested that crap for DNA and it's in there. But I think, look, the gambling thing is as of right now, we don't know about it, right? There's no proof to it. I'm not sure it matches up when you look at the lifestyle, right? I mean, but you never know. You really don't. Maybe loan sharks took her. Yeah, loan sharks don't snatch people like that for cash, right? Loan sharks are actually some of the best businessmen in the entire world. In the movies, you always see them going and breaking people's thumbs and stuff like that. That doesn't happen very often. They'll tune a person up. They'll punch him around and shit. But they charge such ridiculous interest that even if they get burned in the end, I mean, the vigorish, the juice that runs on that stuff, you're paying 20%. It's like compounding if you don't pay it. 10% if you know somebody, and you're paying that monthly. It's not an annual percentage rate. It's a monthly percentage rate. Is it true there's only one way in and out? No. No, not from my memory at all. No, there's multiple ways out of there. There's absolutely multiple ways out of there. But that's a close one. I keep circling back to who called initially. Yeah, we're just getting lied about, aren't we? The kidnappers want $6 million by Monday at 5 p.m. No, see, the 50,000 was not what the kidnappers asked for. The 50,000 is the reward being offered by the government, the FBI, for any information leading to her or the conviction of the person that snatched her. It's a snitch reward, they call it. I keep circling back to that too. And why did we get bullshitted on it? Did they get bullshitted on it? I mean, is it literally like that obvious and out there? Like that, the reason that they got turned on to him instantly? Just run with me. This is just something that could have happened. But imagine if that's just the big red herring, right? Like the idiot said, oh yeah, we noticed mom wasn't at church. And then all of her friends went, they don't go to church. That could be, the note includes a threat to go, yeah. According to Kagan, I think what they said, you can check and see if I'm wrong on this, but I think that what they said is that like harm will come to her, which is a little bit different than we're going to whack her. But here's the thing, man. Do you think we'll get another deadline after Monday? You know, normally I would say no. Yeah, they're in Nancy's backyard. Look, I'm shocked they ever left. Honest to God, man. This is absolutely off the chain. It really is. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think a lot of people are asking the exact same question that you are, Sick. This doesn't make a shitload of sense. And are we going to get another one? Right? Hey, I know you blew by both of those, but we still got her. And you better get us something quick because that medication is going to kill her if she doesn't have it within the first 26 days. Question, anything about the video surveillance and circle? Yeah, no, we don't know exactly what's come out of that yet. There have been some people that went in and talked to managers and people that work there, and allegedly they at least verified that the feds had been in there and that they had pulled a bunch of crap. Right, they had taken a bunch of stuff off the computer. Military satellite technology doesn't run in reverse, right? You have to be clued into what you want to look at as you're passing over it. This is at least what AI told me, because to be honest with you, I didn't have time to chase that one down in articles. So that's an AI answer. But you're not going to hit rewind. It's not like you came into the middle of a movie and went, hey, let's go back and see what it was looking at that time. You have to sort of aim the camera on what you're going to be trying to look at. I would not be at all surprised if they're using that kind of technology to look at that place now, right? They may be scoping shit from outer space because they're pretty heavy duty. This has become one hell of a shit show circus. You know how you know that that's the truth, people? The boat did about 30,000 views yesterday. There's a lot of people that are following this in a way that most people do not follow other true crime. I think we're getting a lot of crossovers. We're meeting a lot of people that haven't been true crime people in the past, but are finding this kind of stuff fascinating. And you know what? That doesn't make you a bad person. You know what it means, Johnny Scoville? It means that there's no good entertainment left. Movies are all fake. Everything's AI. They can't record what the satellite sees and then rewind. Dogface Pony Soldier, they have to aim it. It doesn't grid the entire world down to 3 feet. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not like that. They can hit up anything at any time, but they're not able to be scoping in on small stuff unless you alert cameras to do certain things. It would really help if they could back it up. Can we get a rewind feature, Elon? By the way, for the people that say that this was just a way for us to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein, we'll be talking about Elon Musk and Epstein and all of their nefariousness when this is over. Trust and believe that ain't going away. Right? Exactly. Cheap chick gets it. What kind of craziness happens, man? Wait 3 days to ask for ransom. Yeah. And then extended by more days. It's either bullshit or these guys. I mean, look, there's no such thing as pros, but you could at least do some research. Honest to God, I researched bank robbery before I did it. I won't tell you how. The U.S. really is like Grand Theft Auto. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Because it didn't used to be that way, man. You know, the good old days when crime was safe. You know, honestly, it's become so violent. I broke the law for a lot of years. I wasn't hurting people. Unless they went after me, I wasn't hurting anybody. This is the shiny objects to distract from the Somalia fraud. This is a hell of a distraction. Yeah, this is a heavy ass. I mean, to grab someone's 84-year-old mother is just a tough thing. It's true. BBC News has only reported on Epstein in this kidnapping case in the past 3 days. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Do you know why that is? Right? Remote viewing must not really work or they would know where she is. That's a good one. That is a good one. If remote viewing worked, they'd know where she is. Solid. You know what? Now, just because I've got a lot of people here that don tinfoil hats and think certain things, and I'm not mad at any of them. I'm not. But there are people that are going to take umbrage of that. So I will say this. Well, if it's real, I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but I did spend a decent amount of time researching it once. Sometimes they do some really incredible stuff with that. Like they found submarines in the ocean. And if you want to think about finding a submarine in an ocean, that's not a needle in a haystack, right? That's nothing like a needle in a haystack. That's like a hair on Katy Perry's ass. Like that cat's got 27 trillion hairs. It's like trying to find a hair on that cat, one specific one. Ain't no way. So they do score occasionally, and then sometimes they're just god awful. There were some reports where they were asked to remote view a sealed envelope in another state and literally said 3 playing cards that were inside it. If that don't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, nothing will. However, maybe they're just wicked good at finding cards, right? Maybe it's a card trick. Could be a card trick.
The last time I heard about remote viewing was what was inside the pyramids below.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the last. Yeah, I was with you for that, was I not? The last remote viewers we actually watched, they were trying to look into the Great Pyramid. But I'll tell you what, I can look into the Great Pyramid right now. You want me to? They're not going to let you tunnel into that bastard to give you any kind of an idea what's in it. Those guys that are into that whole like museum and Egyptology and stuff over there, that dude Satan, you know what I'm talking about? The head of antiquities in Egypt. Holy crap, man! He's not letting anybody near those pyramids.
Where's that? Take a look this house and see how it's decorated?
Oh boy. Oh boy. You know what it would look like? The douchebag museum from Horrible Bosses. Yeah. They're checking Nancy's septic system once again. I'd be shocked if they didn't. Right now, here's the thing about crime in the U.S. I bet you didn't know this, but if you go to flush drugs down your toilet or do something like that, because people do that all the time when the cops are coming, you know what you do with those drugs you flushed? You put them right into that bend. For real. I've seen that mistake made, Johnny Scoville. You got to flush 2 or 3 times for the stuff to get far enough out of the pipes. If you're smart, maybe 5 or 6 times. Karen from Goodfellas had it down. See her just shaking like a woman's toy and flushing that toilet like nonstop. She's been to prison and shit. They're looking between the sister's house in manholes. You see, all of these things make sense. It pisses me off a little that we waited this long. Again, I mean, maybe something came up that made you decide to start looking in drains and start looking, but this is the kind of shit that people do, right? Normally you're collecting stuff out of traps and all of that. I think the FBI should be more life-changing than $50K. You know what? Hello. Put a 4 in the chat if you thought that was a piss-poor amount of money. And you know what it was first? It was like $3,000 or $5,000 or some horrific amount of money. They upped it to 50 from an offensive amount of money. Can you, somebody Google what that first amount of money was? No, but it was really low, man. It was $4,000. 2,500 says MJ. That's just downright embarrassing. And look at all the 4s. That is downright embarrassing. Yeah, what the deuce? Why don't they up that to $1 million? Right? Put the people that are looking for him on the same plateau. I mean, maybe you can't put up 60, but I'd go tell you what, 10 million if you can get them in the next 3 days. Yeah, you do get vigilantes that start going batshit crazy though. But I would up the reward money. I really would up the reward money. I mean, personally, I wouldn't because I don't have the pot to piss in. But if I were involved in this, I mean, what are you going to do? Print more money. It's not like that money comes from anywhere. Right? That hasn't come from anywhere in so long. Just print up another 50, 60 million. Put a reward out there on this.
They use subliminal advertising trying to get BTK. Listen, they don't.
It's offensive.
They'll do anything.
Yeah. Where's the money, Karen? I owe these guys. Oh, it was horrible, man. That's my least favorite scene. Is when Karen crumbles to the ground. I want to tell you something. Not to get too out into the weeds, but that's crime. I'm not shitting you. It's not all of the great times. It's the time where you collapse to the ground and hold your legs and go, oh, shit, it's over. That's crime. I swear to you. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care if these kidnappers, if they're real, they're somewhere in the U.S. and they kidnapped this woman for real, they are having a rugged day. Seriously, I would be having 60 or 70 Percocets for breakfast, chase it down with a little Jack Daniels, and you'd still be doing this number. I mean, God help us. I remember, there's no brag, just fact. There were times in my life where I was being hunted by certain agencies. Like when the U.S. Marshals, forget about it. I heard the Marshals were looking, I went and turned myself in. I'm not even kidding you because they're going to get you. And the Marshals are the nicest people you will ever meet. If you happen to be listening to me and you're a U.S. Marshal, every U.S. Marshal I ever met was a stud. I can't say that about cops. I can't say that about the FBI. But I never met anybody from the U.S. Marshals that wasn't the most respectful person in the world. They view you like your job is to hide from me. My job is to find you, right? I had a good day today. You had years. They have no emotion. And as soon as they handcuff you, like as soon as they grab you and then you show them that, hey, put your hands behind your back, they will treat you like they went to high school with you. For real. No disrespect, no nothing. They're stern. You're not going to get away with anything. But they're very respectful guys. I've had some great conversations with some of them. I think they have Nancy holed up in a hotel room personally. Honest to God, that kind of makes sense because it's what we've always sort of imagined. And I'll be honest, I thought that. But in this day and age, how are you going to pay for it? So
within 24 hours, proof of life. This is just so weird from the jump. So bizarre.
Yeah. How do you not show proof of life in the first 24 hours? I mean, you didn't read the handbook, right? You didn't read the handbook.
Or seen a million movies.
Yeah, or even watched one good ransom movie, right? You want to contact them before they can call the cops.
Getting the Bitcoin
Yeah. God will always rule. Damn right. That's God. God will always rule. Don't do the crime. God tells you, do not do the crime because you will have to do the crime. And you know something? Not for nothing. But if you do the crime, shut the hell up and do the time. Right. Don't get in there and start crying about how you're not being treated right. You know, the cops aren't nice to me. You're a convicted felon in prison, bro. No one's going to be nice to you. Shut up and do your time. Brian Koberger is going to end up, honest to God, I say all the time on here, I do a lot of shows on prison because I spent a decent amount of time inside. And people aren't getting raped every 30 seconds. People put that on shows because it sells, but it doesn't happen. It's a very rare thing. In the federal system, I saw it once in the entire time I was, or twice the entire time I was down. It's not something that happens a lot. But for Brian Koberger, I hope they make an exception. I'm sorry. That dude should be somebody's girlfriend. The FBI must check motel bookings in certain, yeah, you would think so, right? But how are you checking it? I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do it under someone else's name, but I bet you that they're circulating pictures to the front desk at every single friggin' hotel. You know, yeah, it would be hard for a hotel, I think, at this point. Had an incident with the U.S. Marshals. I hope they were nice to you, Mills. They've been great to me. In fact, look, there's 334 of you. We're here for a couple of laughs. I'll tell you a quick story. I got taken to a hospital by the U.S. Marshals. I was under arrest for a crap load of bank robberies. And, oh, no, it was the gun time. It was the gun running shit. But I had a medical issue, and they had to take me to the hospital. Not a fake one. It was a legit medical issue. And they took me to the hospital. And in the process, we're all adults. I pissed myself. It was a transient ischemic attack, like a stroke. And I pissed all over myself. I got to the hospital, and the local police had me in those pants for probably 8 hours handcuffed to a bed. And the U.S. Marshal came in to take over because I was a federal prisoner. I wasn't a state prisoner. And they came in and lost their mother-loving mind on these cops. He's like, what's all over his pants? He's like, he pissed himself. He's like, and you still got him in the pants? He's like, what the hell's the matter with you guys? And he just looked at me, and the cop goes, hey, man. And he just shoved him outside, shut the door. He's like, have they fed you? I went, no, man. He's like, all right, what do you like to eat? And I'm like, are you being funny? He's like, no, what do you want to eat? We'll get you whatever you want to eat. Like, these guys were super cool to me. And they put a handcuff on my ankle to the bed, right? And he goes and grabs a blanket, and he throws it over the top of the cuff. And I go, appreciate that. And he goes, no, that's because the nurses here are hot. He's like, you know, because it took about the fourth trip in, the nurse goes, why do you guys have guns? And I swear to you, the U.S. Marshal goes, you don't know who this guy is? And she goes, no. And he goes, well, we're protecting him. Really cool. Exactly. My cousin is a federal marshal. He is the coolest, kindest, chill guy, professional, personally. Yeah, I mean, he just took what was going to be one of the most embarrassing situations in my life, and literally had these, women coming in and going, they don't have your name on this form. It's just numbers. The guy's like, yeah, he's famous. I mean, they were just super cool to me the entire time. Shouldn't this have been done day one? I'll tell you what, it should have been done an hour and a half after you took her. Get far enough away, and then you contact them instantly. You don't want them to find out she's gone and call 911. Because once you call 911, you have clouded this shit up. Ideally, you want the people paying you off to have to make a decision between their loved one's life and having the balls to call the FBI. You understand? They don't want anyone bringing in the police or the feds. So they want to scare the crap out of you. Hey, if I see a cop car, that was the old days, right? If I see a cop car, she gets whacked and I leave her in the bushes. There's always that threat of, if you bring the police in on this, they're in trouble. If you wait 3 freaking days before you send a letter, I don't believe that happened, folks. It doesn't pass the smell test. They may be telling us that was the first contact. If they did that, they're literally the dumbest. I mean, or they're rewriting the playbook on this, but I don't see them getting away with this shit. I thought I was dead. Oh yeah, well they come heavy, to be sure. Then they listened to me, and soon they realized that it was the load my truck was hauling. Hired my truck to haul the load to storage for them. I love it. They're a scary group of people. They literally do you don't get away. How many members of Tommaso's band been interviewed? I don't even know that Tommaso's been interviewed, right? They're keeping the cards really close to the chest. At this point,
don't worry about their next gig.
Yeah, I honestly believe they're not worried about their next gig. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's a chance that they've talked to Tommaso yet. I don't. Here's the unless you're 100% sure that mom's gone, you have to keep playing a game, right? Even if you think he's involved. The bozos at the Pima County Sheriff's. Look, the guy's Barney Fife, but you can't get rid of the Sheriff's Department. You can't just let the FBI do this, right? This is a state crime, at least in the beginning. The feds can pick up kidnapping. You leave a note or you call or everybody missed out, but not 30 hours later, right? I mean, for real. You allowed the cops to get in. You allowed the FBI to get in. You allowed the U.S. Marshals, the Border Patrol. The number of people that are getting brought to bear on this, God Almighty, if you kidnap one of my loved ones, I hope that they bring that many people to save them. What do you think, Johnny Scoville? If they snatch up Spanx Calhoun, you think they're coming in with the cavalry?
You're not even important. Think about how many people are going to get kidnapped since she's been kidnapped.
Since she's gotten kidnapped, right? How many people around the country also got kidnapped? Actually, in America, probably not. But there have been a few that have been snatched up. But this is not just a kidnapping. We got to figure this out real quick. Most kidnappings are dad who gets visitation and decides not to bring the daughter or son home. That's most or mom that takes off with a child against a court order. Those are most kidnappings. Kidnappings for ransom, I think they call them KSR or KRS. Yeah. Kidnapping for KFR. God help us, man. Look, don't start with me. I slept like two and a half, 3 hours last night. I went to bed at 4 and I was up at I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, absolutely, because no one's asking for ransom, right? The FBI is saying the kidnapper may use AI like chat to write notes, as notes are sophisticated. I don't believe that. I had heard the exact opposite, so I don't know. But they do that a lot, don't they? There's so many more that we know. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of kidnappings that we don't know about because the parents don't even live in this country. Interesting. The plan fell apart when she had a fatal heart attack after her struggle not to leave her home. The bait was dead and no new plan. There is a big desert out there. Yeah, there is a huge desert out there. There really is. I mean, getting rid of a body in Tucson wouldn't be, but helicopters, you would have to dig. You might leave. It's really hard to dig. You could just dump her, but that's a risk. Even AI inquiries can be tracked. You bet they can. You bet they can. Right? We leave fingerprints everywhere we go. I am always absolutely blown away. And you guys are true crime people. Are you always shocked when somebody, puts off this great thing? He's on the beach. He shoots himself 3 times, right? Kills his wife, says he got shot by somebody. He wrestled the gun away from the attacker, blah, blah, blah. And then they go home and find out the guy's been Googling what part of the body you can shoot and not die. And you just go, God, help us, man. They still make your model? Right. So much for the Darwin theory. You'd think the dumb ones would have automatically been gone by now.
Back to Occam's razor.
Yeah, Occam's razor is probably the place to go on this. I mean, what's more likely, the conspiracy that involves politicians and everybody else, so that we can divert attention from the Epstein files? I'm telling you, folks, these stories take over because they're sensational and the people want to talk about them. And then they die just as fast. And we go on to the next story, right? And we do commentary on it. Do you know how many YouTube channels have been born out of this catastrophe? For real. You watch Brian Enton go out, you watch him get 6,000 people in a live chat, and your soul is for sale, Johnny Scoville. That soul goes on the line. A lot of people go, I can do this. And God bless you. I hope you have a great run. I'm with this. If she died during the attack, why not just leave the body at the house? The pacemaker will pace until the batteries die. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but I'm trying to sound like a criminal, right? A retired one. But if you kill her there, I don't think it would be very difficult to sell the fact that she fell down, right? Not trying to be cold-hearted, but it wouldn't take a great deal, right? I don't think anybody would be shocked by an 84-year-old woman who might be bleeding from the fall just being found dead there. I don't even know that they would have to do a major investigation. Now, if you broke the back door in, well, then you better steal everything in sight and then go hide that shit somewhere where it will never be found. Because if you're going to stage a burglary, people are so damn bad at staging burglaries. Here's the thing. Burglars are really good at what they do, believe it or not. They know where most people stash things like cash. They know where jewelry and stuff like that is going to be. And they know where people stash things more often than not in their houses. But they're not doing it like the movies. I mean, these people that stage, crime scenes, half of the time it looks like they're looking for a computer disk this big. They're dumping out every drawer. They're throwing stuff on the floor. You don't get paid to make a huge mess. You get paid to get out there with all the gold, all the cash, all the diamonds, and anything else that can be converted to money. But nobody took anything. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Yeah. I was curious. The celebrate word, found out her birthday was the 27th. I think it's the 14th, isn't it? Somebody fact check that one for me. I thought her birthday was on Valentine's Day. Could somebody check that and tell me if I'm an idiot? They did not leave the body at the house because they were paid to do a job and failed, but they want the money. They would act like she's still alive to get more cash. That's actually fairly intelligent. What if there's two parts of this operation? What if the son-in-law never went near the house? What if he's got two goons that go out and grab his mother-in-law? They kill her in the act of grabbing her. They panic to beat shit. Maybe that's why they spent 40 minutes in that house. Although, no. If they contacted anybody from inside, I mean, maybe burner phones, but even that. You see, here's the thing, man. Burner phones are untraceable, right? But there's a number to that burner phone. And they're going to say, where did that burner phone get sent to? And they say it was sent to Walmart at
February 27th.
February 27th?
January
27th.
So it says.
January 27th. So it was just her birthday? Yeah, that would have been, she would have just celebrated her 84th then. Is that right? Yeah, that's been misreported this morning.
Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah.
It said 14th.
It said that her birthday was coming up on the 14th. Jokes on the burglar, I'm poor. That's right. They're also pretty damn good at targeting people that aren't. Why do you think we don't leave our doors locked? Right? We can leave these puppies unlocked. There's nothing to get. I don't leave, man. I live in the studio now. Live in it. Sorry, but it's the truth. And you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it on no sleep, and I'll keep researching this crap because you know what, folks? Hate to sound like it, but these don't come around all the time. And the people that I'm a recruiter for true crime. I'm sorry, I am. I'm a recruiter for true crime. If this is your first foray into this, stick around because the cases get at least more understandable. We can have a better conversation. This one is absolutely bizarre. The FBI uses an onion cell tracker. I don't know if I know what that is. I know what the onion router is. It's something that can track to the dark web. I don't know what an onion cell tracker is. But then again, if I haven't researched it, I don't know anything.
I'm guessing they mean like the Tor browser.
Right? Yeah, I thought you might have been referring to like a Tor tracker. Tor, the onion router. That very well could be what he's talking about. Not that I've ever used it, Johnny Scoville. Used to buy a lot of drugs on the dark web. When the dark web first came out, man, people bought a lot of drugs on the dark web. And then the old Silk Road blew up. Can we have a moment of silence? He's out, you know.
I was about to say.
He was pardoned. He was a great. What the hell is going on here? I really want to put that up there. There you go. Thanks, Tommy. We appreciate all your well thought out coverage and research into this horrific situation. You remain my go-to for true crime. That is the kindest thing anyone has said to me in, well, a very long time. I really appreciate that. You know something, folks? I hate to sound like a dick, and I'll catch crap for it, but what's entertaining anymore? I know that it's not like we're vultures and we're rooting for something bad to happen to this woman. We're rooting for something fantastic to happen to this woman. But I don't think this is much of a stretch from the old movie, The Running Game. For real. We've become a society where everything can be faked. I saw a video yesterday. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen of this bear that picked a cat up and hugged it. It was one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. However, I don't have a mother-loving clue if it's real or not. I don't. At least in true crime, we got about an 80% chance that what we're watching isn't bullshit. There are real victims involved, and it means that it gets a little harder to fake because everything is fake. That's funny. That's funny. I used to have 3 shepherds, 115 pounds apiece, and a picture window. Nobody bothered me. Right? Come on in. My dog likes to play. We're in the TikTok age. Are we not? Are we not? What, TikTok is the land of failed YouTubers? Did you say that out loud? Boy, you're not going to make any friends with that one. That was my brother. It's Johnny Scoville. If you're sending hate, you can send it to chasetheheat@gmail.com.
While you're there, subscribe.
While you're there, hit subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. And if you have not given me a thumbs up, for the love of God, do it. Here's the problem. Once they figure out that you use the 7 deadly words that you can't say on internet, right, on YouTube, there's actually like 45 words that you can't say on YouTube.
Yeah, you do have the smartest, most forward-thinking audience, so they'll keep you supported.
No, they do keep me supported. That's why I'll do this one right now. Since 9/11, we've become ghouls. Yeah, you know what? Since 9/11, we've also become people that have gotten far more into to looking at everything analytically. I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy guy from 9/11, right? I'm not. I think a lot about that stinks, but that doesn't mean that I align with all of the people that go, it's an inside job and this and that. Not saying that. But talking about that one will get you. How's that? See, I just crossed another one. 911 content. They love 9/11 content. But here's the deal with that. No matter what happened, it was the first time that the entire world came together on anything. It may not have lasted long, but everyone was universally disgusted. When the entire world agrees on something, and I mean everyone, I start thinking false flag. When a certain section of the internet, and a lot of people worldwide, but this isn't 9/11, man. This isn't the Oklahoma City bombing. There are people that I know that I care about who go, yeah, I don't even know what's happening. I had to explain this last night to my wife in excruciating detail because she literally had no idea what was going on with this because she doesn't watch YouTube. She's not a TV person. Do you have Venmo or something else so YouTube doesn't get their cut? I have PayPal. I think there may be another way to get to me via the. There is another way. There's a Cash App too, the Lifeboat on Cash App. What's going on with that? Oh, do me a favor, Johnny Scoville. Yeah, it was due. Hadn't done that in at least a week. Hold on, folks. We're having a bit of a power and let there be light. There we go. Let there be light. So, and I appreciate the support. That's fantastic. But showing up and watching is massive support. So is hitting that thumbs up and hitting the subscribe button. Looks like I got here at the tail end. Hello, everyone watching Olympics. I don't blame you. A lot of people are watching Olympics, and a lot of people are going to be journeying up, getting ready for the Super Bowl. I'll tell you something right now. If something happens while that Super Bowl is on, I sure as hell will be here talking about it. And if you are not, I'm not a Super Bowl person, so I promise you it's not going to keep me from getting on and talking about this. Wow, what a cool thing to say, Vicky Early. I really appreciate that. How nice is that? Where is Squirrel Nut Zipper? That's a great question. I know where Katie Perry. Oh no, she's on the bed. She's on the little nap section of the bed. Yeah, you can do that. She hangs out at one side of the bed pretty routinely. Is today the day? I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. And the reason I say that is
there's a little kitty.
Look at this. Look at this. What a cute kitty, huh? Thank you so much. You are very kind. I really appreciate that. That is very, very kind. And I don't believe I've ever said, have I ever said hello to you, Alex? Well, I appreciate that. Alex, where are you calling in from? I don't recognize THB. Do you know that?
I do not.
Yeah. Where are you watching from? My first true crime was in high school in the 70s reading F. Lee Bailey. I got an F. Lee Bailey. And his defense of Sam Shepard, the fugitive. I was in the courtroom for Scott Peterson. No way. No way. Scott Peterson would have been a trial to be there for. Holy hell. I haven't spent a lot of time in court that wasn't for me, but I was at the Danny Masterson sentencing. And let me tell you a little something about the Danny Masterson sentencing. It was the only time I ever enjoyed being in court. I'm not kidding you, man. That was fantastic. My first true crime. Yeah, F. Lee Bailey was a beast, right? I think he was also a bit of a lowlife, but he was a stone cold beast. Thank you again, Alex. I really appreciate you. There is something fundamentally wrong when a society pays someone $2 million a year to throw a ball on TV, but a teacher barely makes 30 grand a year. You know what? I agree with you 100%, man. I agree with you 100%, man. There's absolutely something so wrong with the fact that, and our heroes have numbers on their backs. None of my heroes have numbers on their backs. I promise you. None of my heroes. Right, wear sports jerseys, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you if you do, but they certainly should not. Thailand, all right. Run the World says that's Thailand. You know, it's a currency. I know a lot of them, but I usually know I farted around on Forex for a little while. If it's not intrusive to put the PayPal out there, you should. No, it's there. If you go to the Lifeboat page and hit About, it will take you over and it will show you all of those different links. Oh, I'm monetized. I'm absolutely. Oh, you mean so that I wouldn't get demonetized? Yeah, I still wouldn't be able to censor my speech. I just don't do it. Honest to God, I just don't do it. I mean, I did that as a YouTuber. I took it really seriously, and then it made me sick. It made me sick. Hold on 1 second, people. I need a nose blow. Sorry, I am not getting enough sleep. My brother's name is Johnny Scoville. Has a channel called Chase the Heat. It is a great channel. Thank you, Run the World. It's very kind.
Can you stick my face in?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she really is a doll. She's a great cat. The Johnny Scoville from Chase the Heat.
There's a slight resemblance.
That would
Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Hit the like.
Yeah, this is a circus and it's a bummer, people. In all honesty, so I see a lot of veterans in UK homeless were run by elites with no emotions. That's horrible. It really is. Veterans should be treated a lot better. Brothers look like twins. We get that a lot. All right, people. I'm going to wrap this puppy up. And the reason I am is because if I go much longer than this, then I'm missing other things that are coming out. I will be putting another show up today. Not exactly sure what time because a lot of this has to do with whether or not we hear anything new. I thought of Tommy on the slopes when I saw it happen. She was helicoptered off. Oh, no way. I didn't even know Lindsay went down. Bummer. That's a God help us. Her knee could be toast. She's got serious knee problems. Do you think it is strategic that it is silent? Yeah, I don't know that they can't tell us anything, right? So what we're waiting on is leaks. And I'll tell you what I think is odd. Ashley Banfield's due. She chases stuff down. It's not like she can go live as often as I do because her sources are way different, right? I'm giving you basically everything that's out there that we know. She's going to find stuff that nobody knows, but I'm waiting for her to pop up. Thank you, Brock Bandy. That is Relatable Reese. That is my wife's channel. You should head over there and hit subscribe. She will make you laugh. I promise you. Well, thank you, Myra. I really appreciate that. You found me last night. Well, that's awesome. You picked a great time to find the boat. Do me a favor, hit subscribe and then hit the bell for notification because we go live a lot. And I promise you, if you check out my wife, you're gonna find her hysterically funny. She really is. Manholes on the property. I pray they find her alive. Me too. But I don't think. I think she's the Lucille Ball of today. It's actually not such a bad description. She's got a little Mae West in her too. All right, people. I am Tommy. I will see you on the next one. I could use a nap. and send Johnny out there for the next one. Not a bad idea. I might take a nap and send Johnny next time. Great idea. I think they're searching Nancy's house again right now because they're continuing to look for more evidence. And if anything changes, they'll go, ooh, we should look for this. The people in the lab are always asking for other things. They never should have released that crime scene. They never. Now, the inside, I don't think has been wildly traipsed through, but certainly the outside's not going to be worth a shit. But that's why I think it's happening right now around the world. All right, people. I will see all of you on the next one. I'm Tommy. God bless. Thanks for spending time with me. Good day.